For the first day of Inktober, I chose to base my drawing off of the word sojourn, which means a temporary stay or to stay somewhere temporarily. I thought of my cat Bob and used a photo I took of him playing with my first felting project as a reference for this drawing. During September, Bob went on his first road trip with me. Before then, he would have trouble staying calm during half-hour car rides, so I was pretty nervous about bringing him on a 4-hour trip. I did as much research as I could in how to help him relax on the trip and bought him a natural spray as well as some calming pills to use as we were leaving. Okay, so this part of the drawing I had so much trouble figuring out how to draw a tongue. I wanted it to look like he was holding onto the corn dog, licking his lips, all excited to eat it, but no matter how hard I tried, the tongue just didn't look the way I wanted it to. So I ended up changing the design to him napping while cuddling the corn dog. I like how it turned out in the end, but the tongue was super frustrating. I also found advice that said to play with him before going on the trip so he's more tired during the car ride and less freaked out. I got Bob ready to go as soon as I got home from work, and we went on our trip. I know from experience that Bob has an easier time with a car ride if he's on his leash and free to roam around the car instead of trapped in his kennel, so I let him walk around the passenger and back seats. To my surprise, he only looked around and meowed for the first few minutes. After that, he laid on my center console and leaned against me, cuddling me quietly and drifting in and out of sleep for the entire 4-hour ride. I was so incredibly impressed with him and super proud that my baby boy did so well. So the trip itself was to visit the state fair in my girlfriend's hometown. Naturally, the state fair was canceled this year since it would draw too much of a crowd to be safe, but the vendors for the fair decided to have a drive-through pickup for the food. Considering it was the first year that they did this and they had to direct hundreds of cars through their pickup area, which went up to the booths of a dozen or so vendors, I was ready for the event to be a huge mess. I was pleasantly surprised to find that it was actually one of the most organized events I've been to in a while. There were people who were mostly very patient and kind, every 20 feet or so trying to direct you to your next turn. They called the event the Unfair, with the tagline, "The fair that wasn't," which cracked me up and seemed like a good thing to keep as a reminder of this year as a whole in our history. So I was glad to get a shirt with that written on it. It ended up being a really fun date day for me and my girlfriend, and I bought a shirt as a fun memory. I decided to sum up the trip as a whole by drawing Bob with a staple fair food, a corn dog. The funny thing about Bobby is that I call him a gray tabby, and everyone I talk to calls him a brown tabby. I know he has brown in him, but he's still mostly gray and has gray as his base color, so I don't get why everyone calls him brown. I say that, but the way I colored him, he ended up being more brown than gray, so whoops. The stick for the corn dog ended up getting crooked. I tried to fix it, but there's only so much you can do when the ink's already been put down on the paper. Oh well, I guess that's part of the challenge of Inktober, right? All in all, I really liked this drawing. I was happy to have drawn a memory of me and my kitty. He's so darn cute. I might try and find a way to fix the corn dog stick at some point, but it's done. Here's my completed drawing based off the word sojourn.